Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PoGo.
It's PoGo! PoGo! It's PoGo! PoGo! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PoGo! PoGo. Welcome to another episode of the Puckle Podcast. I'm your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my excellent co-host. We've got the one and only R.Sigma.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we've got Clod9.
Hello, everyone.
And we're here for another episode of the Puckle Podcast. Puckle standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007, where we talk everything Pokemon from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. And so, we're gonna pull back the curtain and let you all know that we're recording way earlier due to the holiday, in the US this week. You're gonna have a couple of really awkward episodes, and that's okay, where time does not exist or is a construct. So, yeah, we're recording on a Tuesday when we typically record on a Saturday. So the news cycle might be a little bit different. It might have only been 3 days since I've done one of these, and things might be a little bit different. And when you ask Thatch, what have you been doing in Pokemon lately? I actually did just grind a bunch of TCG Live yesterday, but...
TCG Live? Okay, the format's good though right now.
Yeah, no, the format's actually really fun.
It's better than what it was, because I don't see Dusknoir every match, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I didn't think Surging Sparks was going to bring like that much change, but actually it's really, like, the decks that came with Surging Sparks are kind of fun.
I mean, Ceruledge is great. And
Ceruledge is fun. It's not the best, but it's fun. And then Hydreigon, I also find kind of fun.
And then there's Lost Pika that's doing adequate.
Yeah, Lost Pika is doing okay.
Goldingo's pretty good with the new Ace spec.
Yeah.
That one's been a fun one.
It's been a really fun format, and I really like the Hydra. I played a lot of Hydreigon yesterday. Like, I think every time I log onto TCG Live, I find one of the new decks, and I just like play that and grind it for like 10 matches.
Mm-hmm.
The Hydreigon's been a lot of fun because there's a lot of decks in the format right now that like to dig real deep in their decks. And by what I mean by that, guys.
And then you mill them.
Yeah. Or for those of you who aren't like TCG players, is when I say they try to dig real deep, they draw a lot of their cards out of their deck.
Yeah.
Because that is a lot of the Pokemon TCG nowadays, is just getting cards, and your deck is essentially just like a library that you just like dig into every once in a while. And a lot of decks do end the games with, single digit cards left in deck when you start with 60. So when I say dig real deep, that's really big, because Hydreigon, the new Hydreigon EX that came out in Surging Sparks, the most recent TCG set, has its attack that does 200 damage for 2 energy, which is kind of nuts in and of itself. And it does 200 damage, but it also discards the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, which is called milling. And if your opponent only has a few cards left in their deck, you're essentially like getting to a win condition without getting all the prizes. And what's even more fun is like the second attack the Hydreigon has is this awesome...
Isn't it like Snipe 3 or Snipe 2 and 130?
It's Snipe 2 and do damage to the active. Like,
yeah, that's nice.
It's like this crazy energy combination, but if you play like the Neo Upper Energy...
I was going to say, you play the double rainbow for stage 2s, right?
Yeah, which was like kind of a garbage card when it came out. And honestly, probably still a little garbage, but like you can pull off even with that like crazy energy cost, because one of the other energies that it requires is a dark energy and then a colorless energy. So you're already playing those in the deck, the dark energies. So you can usually pull this off with the Neo Upper Energy, and you can get some plays where like you put people in like really weird positions, because there's a lot of decks that will play like a Squawkabilly and a Rotom V or a Lumineon, and they'll have both those on their bench, or even like the Pheasantipity. And what you do is you launch this attack, you do 130 to the active, and then you put 130 on the Rotom and the like the Pheasantipity or whatever, and you end up like, if they don't do something to you now, like you've got a turn where you're taking probably 4 or even almost 6 prizes depending on the matchup. And I really like that because it puts a lot of pressure on people. And Hydreigon EX is like a really bulky Pokemon. It's 330 HP, just like the Charizard EX.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry I'm talking a lot, but it's so fun. Like, I just love it. It's complicated, and I just want to figure it out more and just optimize it. I like the deck. It just feels good.
Yeah, it's definitely on the list of things I want to try. I keep going back to Claw.
I might buy it physically because like there's not that many. They're like, it's not that expensive. It's like less than $2 a card now.
No, I can't imagine it's too bad. I don't think anything is it?
I was gonna say, why is the set so expensive? I was looking at them like a booster box is like almost $200.
It's because of
Pikachu. Because of the Pikachu.
So you remember like the
Or
Moonbryon
Art
from like Evolving
Yeah.
Skies? Like this is probably, well, at least right now, it's like a Moonbryon situation where the Secret Illustration rare Pikachu is going, I think it's like $500-$600 now.
It kept going up. I don't know how high it's gone, but
I'm going to find out right now as of Tuesday, so everybody will know we're out of date because it'll be worth way different prices on Saturday or on Monday when this comes out.
But yeah, the art rare Pikachu is incredibly expensive.
Yeah, it's like insanely expensive right now. Oh, it dropped a little bit. It on TCG Player, it's going for $460. So it did start to go down a little bit.
Still pretty high for a standard new card. Like,
it's not even like that good of a card, and I don't think the art is like that good. I don't know. Like,
it's just a giant glare to me.
yeah,
I'm surprised Ceruledge is $5,
Well,
$5 to $6.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised because Ceruledge, they're doing the same thing they did to the Armor Rouge EX that came out a few sets ago.
Oh, where people are like buying into the hype.
No, they're not buying into the hype. They didn't put the full
there's no
art
other
in the set.
printings. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't put the full art in the set, so usually the full art's what takes the brunt of that, and then the normal printing will be like $1. But because there's only one Ceruledge EX and the full art isn't in there because they're probably going to turn it into a promo for a box.
I mean, it's also because it came from a deck in Japan. It didn't come from a set, so it didn't come with the full art or the art rare to start with.
Yeah.
It's just like Sylveon, except Sylveon has a place where that's going to go.
Yeah. I haven't tried much of the new set. I've just been playing Palkia Dust Noir because I think it's fun.
Palkia Dust Noir is also fun.
I mean, the updates to Live, I'm a big fan of the updates they did to Live.
Yeah,
too.
the updates to Live are just really good
Yes.
too.
They've been much better than I expected.
Yeah.
Good on you, Pokemon.
No, they did great. They did great on that, actually. But yeah, you guys been up to anything? Sorry, like I took over.
Puckle Badge Bonanza has been taken over.
Dude, tell me about it. I need to do that, but I do have like...
I assumed you were going to do it while you were on vacation, so
I'm on vacation next week, so like I'm just gonna chug through it next week. That's my plan.
Well, it's not terribly too... I say that, but it depends on the game you pick. It's not terribly too difficult.
No.
The hardest part is, if you're doing Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Cynthia. The amount of runs that we have, like, in chat where people have made it to Cynthia and lost has just been, like, more than I expected.
That's why it's not the goal.
Yeah, I know.
What's the goal?
Just get to the end of...
Four.
Oh, just getting to the Elite Four?
Yeah, end of Victory Road. I'm not going to say if you lose to Barry, then you don't get the badge.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I will.
When I went to, when I first played BDSP, I did do a Nuzlocke because I had a few friends who wanted to do it, and we had points to score it by, which was a lot of fun. And I do remember I did end up beating it. Like, I did beat the Nuzlocke, but oh my god, I got through with like one Pokemon. I ended up with like just a Staraptor.
The Elite Four is very rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got through with just a Staraptor, and the only reason I got through it is because I taught it Double Team, and I went max evasion against Cynthia, and we were bulky enough to tank like any hit, and then we could heal up after that. But like, oh my gosh, it was rough. And then I sat there just like shoving X items down its throat, and just like, okay, bud, we're gonna be at like +4. We're just gonna couple X speeds, and we're just gonna keep clicking the button. Hopefully we do it.
I keep getting caught off guard by random trainers and gyms that they just gave good movesets to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did. Like, that's the hardest thing is not knowing what everybody has all the time. Or not having, the levels that you need.
Like, I'm always shocked when I come across a gym trainer.
I do try to, like, not metagame too hard for this one specifically. But, like, if when I used to do them on stream a lot more than Nuzlocks, I would dig real deep and, like, memorize the trainers on the routes. So I knew what was coming up, so I would like be able to perform well.
See, I do that with any of the like boss fights, as I call them, or like tough trainers that are like blocking an area. You think your Cyruses, your Mars, your all of those admins, and then it's like I'll run into a random trainer. This has happened now twice. Going into Veilstone City, there's like 2 ace trainers, and I fought them in both of my runs, and it's taken out a Pokemon or 2 every single time just because I'm not expecting it and I forget.
Yep. Oh.
I make sure to check the gym leaders just because it's like,
oh yeah,
I know they did something to their move pools, and they have items all the time too. So it's like, what do you got for me this time?
Yeah, they min-max those gym leaders. Tell me about it, though.
I remember back in college, I went through every generation, and it was up to 6 at that point, and did a poison-only run-through with just poison Pokemon throughout the entire, thing. And I remember Gen 4 being a lot harder than I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So the thing about, like, classic Gen 4 is I believe they didn't give the trainers AI or something? Is that a thing? I think I've heard that before.
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to answer that.
They gave it worse AI than it has now.
Like usually you'd expect the gym leaders or high-level trainers, like the ace trainers, to have AI where they're like gonna click the super effective move and things like that. But I think
it's just the Elite Four that has it, or gym leaders.
I think Diamond and Pearl just do not have that AI at all. They will all just click random moves. They don't think. But
see, and that's my problem right now with running through Renegade Platinum is, like, there's a 12v12 fight that's not in the normal game. That is, very difficult because you team up with Barry to have a fight, and, normally it's, we both bring 3 Pokemon and it's a 6v6. But no, we're going to give you all 12 of both your Pokemon. So I'm hindered by having to have someone I can't control. And then it's like, we're going to throw a Dialga and Palkia fight at you. And and it purposely gives them random AI. So you have no idea what's going to happen, and you just have to prep. Well, and it's causing me a lot of headache. And if you want, I can watch it. The day this comes out, I hopefully will be doing the Elite Four that night. That next Monday is my plan, if I can get there.
Well, I'm going to stop us here so that we don't have to talk about this forever. Or we could.
We could. This could be the whole topic.
The whole topic, yeah. All right, but on that, guys, we do have some news to talk about, surprisingly, after like 3 days. So we are going to go ahead and talk about the news. So let's cue that epic music.
Coming to you live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
Welcome to the news. In the news, I'm still so surprised. There's like things to talk about.
It was the anniversary of SV. That's why.
Yeah. Sure. Yep. Shiny Rayquaza will be coming to Pokemon Unite for matches in the Thea Sky Ruins, and you can earn a Shiny Rayquaza hat in Pokemon Unite. Wow. There's just like so much Shiny Rayquaza because I think the anime must be doing something in Japan where they're getting close to it.
The anime is coming out next. I think this
Friday?
It will just come out when this podcast comes out.
Yeah, but it's not going to be. It's not ready. It's not like we're not caught up with Japan, right? Like
we're not in the Rayquaza arc yet.
We're not in the Rayquaza arc.
Part 4 of the current set.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
That's coming to Netflix. It's coming. It like just came out when this podcast came out, 2 days prior.
This next one is actually the most exciting news, not because of the Shiny Rayquaza, but there is a Shiny Rayquaza Sitting Cutie releasing. So you can actually get the same Sitting Cutie that's normal Rayquaza, but in shiny form. They also confirmed that the Ho and Lugia for the 25th anniversary of Gold and Silver are coming as well, and this makes me so happy. So I don't have to import them.
Like
I'm gonna straight up buy them. Like as soon as they drop, I am buying them.
They're very cool.
Yeah, I want both of them so bad because like
they make me sad that Lugia's shiny is what it is. But
yeah, no, it's I don't know. It reminds me of like the Gen 3 sprite for Lugia where they just got rid of all the blue and they just made everything black in Gen 3. Yeah. All right. Continuing though, there are new weekly Switch Online icons coming through in the beginning of January, including the Shiny Rayquaza, and the Netflix anime, like Claude said, is coming out as well. Scarlet and Violet news though, Sigma, let me know.
Yay, we got like the next month of raid updates. So that's fun. This coming weekend, there's going to be a Core of Night and a Belly Bolt raids. I don't think anyone probably needs those, but Tinka-Tink outbreaks are cool. Everyone likes Tinka-Tink, which means I'm sure Tinkaton will be decent for Rayquaza. The first weekend of December has Azumarill and Clodsire raids with Johto Wooper as an outbreak. I assume this is a message that Unaware is good for the raid. Yay.
Unaware is good.
Probably.
I think that's why there's a Wooper and a Clodsire. The Rayquaza is going to set up. The following week, there is going to be Annihilate and King Gambit raids with Girafarig outbreaks, which means it probably has extreme speed because all this leads up to December 19th having 5-star shiny Rayquaza raids alongside outbreaks of other shiny black Pokemon like Citadel, Carbink, and Fracture, and it lasts 2.5
I love
weeks.
that they do it around the holidays too, because they know people are getting the games for the holidays.
Yeah, and it's 5 stars,
Yeah.
so you don't really have to unlock it.
Exactly.
Like you can join and you can get carried, most likely. And then in competitive news, Marco Silva won LAIC for a third time, I believe. And his team had Charizard and
something
Jumpluff.
else, wasn't there? Oh, this is you're talking
VGC.
This is VGC. I don't know why LAIC TCG was a dead format. It's weird. Usually they make it like the first
week a set is legal.
Like the first, it usually would be next week, or Shining Sparks would have come out
a week earlier,
a week before or something. Yeah, I don't
it was
know why
weird.
they did it how it was. It ended up being a Reggie Drago mirror at the finals.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Woohoo.
Yay,
Everyone's favorite.
Yay, Reggie Drago. I'm so glad that's going away.
Reggie Drago is a fun deck to play, but I just feel like there's more fun decks to play now.
Correct.
There are. That's why I like Surging Sparks so much.
Yeah, I think there's just like more fun decks. But yeah.
I mean, I hated Mew Tag Team when that was out. And that's the same concept. Like, I just don't like the concept. It's too much to keep track of.
Yeah.
Usually, Reggie Drago's a little better about it because there's fewer options it's usually leaning on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Claude, take us home with
Awesome.
the rest of
All
us
right.
that's on here.
So, Go's Max Out finale starts November 27th and adds Galarian Corsola to 7-kilometer eggs. You'll also be able to shiny hunt the Galarian Reggies. Reggie Drago and Regieleki. I had to think through that in my head. Pocket Data Mines say that an Arcanine event and a Gyarados event have started by the time this podcast airs. I think it's just the Arcane...
I thought they both had the same starting date.
I did not know that.
Weird.
I don't know what the Gyarados event is. I know Arcanine's like a Wonder Pick event, from what I saw.
That's not as exciting.
I don't know what
I
Gyarados
think
is.
I had heard that those Pokemon, I said that, Arcanine and...
Gyarados?
No, Fire-type Pokemon, I think, were going to be more prevalent in...
Boosters?
I think so. That's what I had heard. Granted, I could very easily be wrong.
Like, I saw a Wonder Pick from the event, and it had just a bunch of Fire types in it, but it cost like 4.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Maybe that's what it is.
It's like...
I could be wrong.
I don't know, though. We don't know. It hasn't announced yet as a recording. Yeah. It should be live.
No, it has not. Yep. Also, and that's it for the TCG news. I mean, Surging Sparks came out. It's a format.
That it is.
It's the best I got. That we got Puckle's Bad Bonanza. Got a week left of it. Remember, it's getting through the end of Victory Road is the completion of any Gen 4 game.
Anything that you're in Sinnoh. Anything you're in Sinnoh, you're doing okay.
You're fine.
You're in Sinnoh and you're collecting badges, you're doing the right thing.
Yep, that's our plan.
Right.
So,
and then in Wo Chien's News Corner, news brought to you at a snail's pace. Wo Chien was eaten by a Rayquaza this week. Wo Chien was eaten by a Rayquaza. Oh my god, I just read that. Thanks, Sigma. All right, but Puckle's pokey opinion. Almost a month ago, Shiny Meloetta was added to home as a reward for completing the Paldean Pokedexes. What other rewards would you like to see them add? I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you.
The one I really hope for is the 0 speed Enamorus, Shiny Enamorus.
Ooh, yeah.
That's not happening.
No, but I would like it for PLA. It's the only thing that's not available shiny.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, so Gen 10 comes out like maybe 2026, maybe end of 2025. We'll see. And man, if Gen 10 comes out end of 2025, wow, oof.
I don't think it will. I think that's where my current thought is. I don't think it's going to come out until.
I hope you're.
I don't
correct.
expect it till 2026.
I don't want it until 2026, and I don't know if that's like clouding my judgment here, right? Because they did announce PLZA like super early, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could see them announcing it next year.
Yeah, I think it'll be announced next year and then come out the November of.
I don't think they're gonna do a new gen that early because honestly, that'll kill the hype for PLZA.
Well, PLZA is next year.
Yeah. If they announce it, if we're talking next year, the only place they will announce Gen 10 before it comes out is going to be Pokemon Day.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I do not think they will announce hey, here's the release date for PLZA. By the way, we're coming out with this new game in 2 years anyway. And
I mean,
everybody
the
gets
difference
caught up
is
talking about Gen 10.
different
Isn't 2026 though the third
It is.
anniversary of Pokemon?
Yeah.
No, I believe they should kick the can down the road and do that. But Claude, we're saying smart things, and I don't think the Pokemon Company cares. I'll be completely honest with you. They want to make money, right? I don't know that I just don't know that they care. I want this. I agree with you that this is what should happen. I just don't know. In the back of my mind, I sit there and I go, man, they're going to release PLZA right before the Switch 2 comes out to be a swan song for just Switch games. And then Gen 10 comes out on Switch 2. But does Switch 2 come out in Christmas time again? I don't know. They did claim that they will talk about Switch 2 by the end of the fiscal year, but their fiscal year actually ends in March.
Yeah, we'll get it by the end of March.
Yeah, we're going to get it in March.
Really? It's
Info.
March.
We'll get info by the end of March.
Most fiscal years end in August.
So in the US, fiscal years typically begin October 1st. Because they don't like to match them up with the calendar year because then your fiscal year ends during the holiday season. And nobody wants to be doing all of your tax paperwork at the end of the holiday season. So that's why Q1 in the US is typically October to December. And however, in Japan, they don't have the same restrictions. So their Q1 is actually April to June. And so their fiscal year will actually end in March at the end of February, or no, at the end of March. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that is Nintendo's fiscal year.
Sometime in there, we will get Switch 2 in.
Yeah,
probably in the new year. I don't expect it.
And it will be in a Nintendo Direct, not a Pokemon Direct.
I don't know. The Switch announcement wasn't even in a Direct. They just dropped a trailer. They just dropped the trailer with that really good song by White.
And then they had its own presentation.
Yeah.
In January.
Yeah, I remember that where they're just we promised we're coming out with a Fire Emblem game.
I remember them shaking the remote. The Joy-Con.
Yes.
Yeah.
With little an ice.
It was one of the most. It was one of the most awkward presentations post Iwata that I had seen.
It definitely felt like it didn't have a good flow to it.
No, they were definitely trying to figure themselves out as a company after Iwata in that presentation. But yeah, well, we definitely extended the segment somehow. All right. Well, good job, guys. Well, we're going to move on to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Welcome to the new ladder, because ending these things is awkward sometimes. So we're going to jump right into it. You guys, everybody's at 0 points. We're going to restart. The way this works for those of you who are just joining us at home, Claude and Sigma, like the announcer just said, are going to be operating together as a team. And they're in a race, not to any number of points, but to try to be in the top 4 by this time next year, to see if they can play in the Tournament of Champions.
So far away.
Yeah, I know. It's about 12 months away or so, Claude. It might actually end a little bit closer to December next time. But
I was gonna say might be leading into Thanksgiving is one.
Yeah, probably, because next year I might not be on an airplane when we're supposed to record this show. It's fine. And so we're gonna go ahead and get started here, though, with our fresh ladder. Let's dig into it. You guys are going to definitely be at the top of the ladder. Hopefully, you guys don't bomb these questions. So, your first question this week is going to be from Umbreon 1080. What 2 types currently have Pokemon that are unable to evolve by Evolution Stone? Base Pokemon, not Evo. Like, for example, Eevee counts as normal only.
So they, would you say they types that don't have Pokemon that evolve by stone?
Yes.
There's and that just is the items called stones, right?
Items called evolution stones.
We're not counting.
We're not counting
the alloys.
We're not counting like
dragon is the first thing that comes to my mind.
What?
Dragon type? I don't think there's a dragon that evolves by a stone. You have Kingdra, which was the scale.
Yeah. And then you have the apple that evolves the apple.
The apple for the apple.
So dragon's definitely up there.
I think dragons.
There are 2 types. There are 2 types.
It's not dark. It's not fairy. It's not. What about steel? Oh, Magneton. Not steel. Not rock.
No.
Because also Thunderstone.
That Alolan Graveler, let me tell you.
No, it's Magneton, or it's...
oh, wait, no, it's not a Alolan Graveler. That evolves by trait.
I'm a
dum-dum.
Nose pass.
Yep, Nose pass. Is it flying?
Togekiss.
Got it. Yep.
Remember, this is the base Pokemon using the stone, not the Pokemon that it evolves into.
I mean, Togetic still uses it, so...
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, didn't make a difference there.
Ghost and Dark definitely use the dark stone, so we can ignore that.
I have I have to actually write.
What about Psychic? No, Psychic is Glade. Same with or it could be fighting.
Fighting doesn't. Poliwrath wouldn't count.
Poliwrath wouldn't count. Neither would Gallade.
I like fighting right now.
I'm wait. We have a crab. The crab.
Oh, crab, Ice Stone. You're right. Dang.
I assume grass has. I assume fire, electric, grass, water are all out.
Yeah, they're all out. Bug? Nope. Charge bug.
Yeah.
Not flying. Poison?
What? Could be poison.
Is it poison? Wait. How does Glitter and Weezing evolve?
Just level.
Just level.
It just has to be
Oddish to Vileplume or Gloom.
Oh yeah, poison includes grass. Yeah.
Gosh. Okay. Ice?
What
nope, not ice.
Definitely not ice.
Not ice. Not steel. What type am I missing?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. So we got dragon, right?
Okay. Let me go through it in my head. It's not fire. It's not water. It's not grass. It's not electric. It's not ice. It's not fighting. It's not poison. Is it ground?
Possibly.
It's because
we just need a type we forgot at this point.
So it's ground. We know it's not flying. It's not psychic. It's not bug. It's not rock. It's not ghost. It's not dark. It's not steel. It's not normal. It's not fairy. Then it has to be ground.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's not a thing.
Okay, we locking that in?
Okay, so dragon and ground?
Dragon and ground are correct. Yes, you are correct.
Okay.
Woohoo. 1 point.
Although I don't believe that, though.
That is correct,
It's hard to believe, but...
There's no ground types that evolve through stone?
There's barely any ground types to begin with.
Yeah. All right.
Huh.
I'm choosing this question based on the name of the submitter, so take it for what it is. This is from Jiggly Jester.
Oh, good.
What move has the lowest consistent base power of all damage-dealing moves?
What do you mean by lowest consistent base power?
I don't know, but I would say the lowest base power.
That's not zero?
It's non-zero.
So something similar to Whirl. I'm assuming consistent means it doesn't talk about return.
Or
I assume
frustration. Something that doesn't change its value.
Something that always does X damage is what we're looking for. All right. So we're looking for something with 10 base power.
And this can include moves that have been cold, potentially.
Okay. That doesn't help that much.
Yeah, it doesn't help at all. I'm trying to think.
So it's something with 10 base power, I'm assuming. Because
I'll tell you, you're correct on that, actually. I want to tell you, you're correct on that.
I think Whirlpool has 15, so it's lower than that. Could be Constrict or something like that.
Constrict I thought was 30. Am I wrong?
Maybe. Something like Constrict. Oh.
You
no,
are wrong, Claude.
I assume it's not a multi-hit move, right?
No, it can't. That's inconsistent.
Okay. Because there are multi-hits where it's like 12 power.
Yeah, this isn't a multi-hit move. I'll tell you that. And I'll tell you that Claude was wrong on the base power of Constrict.
Then that
or
might
Wrap. It could be Wrap.
Then it's Constrict. If I was wrong about it being like 30, then it's definitely 10.
Okay.
I mean,
because I think they might have removed Constrict from the game.
Yeah.
Are we going Constrict?
I would go with Constrict.
Constrict is correct. It also hasn't been in the game since Gen 7, so
good.
That is correct. It has base power of 10. It's terrible, and it apparently had.
I mean, it was good in like
lowering your speed, so that's something.
Oh, okay. I mean, was it like Wrap and like Fire Spin in Gen 1 or no?
I thought those were.
Was it?
I don't know. In Gen 1 it was. Yeah, no, it just inflicts damage and has like a 33% chance of lowering the target speed.
Oh, so it was bad.
Yeah, it was just.
It
bad.
wasn't Wrap good.
Yeah, it was just bad. All right. Well, with that, then we're gonna move on to your next question. You're two for two. Your next question is your Pokedex entry, as always, and this one's gonna be from Aggressive Caterpie. This Pokemon's Ultra Moon entry reads, it takes down its enemies by shooting fireballs, which burn them to a blackened crisp. It avoids this method when hunting prey. Who's that Pokemon?
My guess is a fire type.
Same. Which dex entry was this?
Ultra Moon.
Okay. So that's 400 Pokemon.
Yes.
And probably not a starter. Because I don't think that's a Litten. Maybe it's a Litten thing to do. Maybe it's a Torracat thing to do. I don't know. My
mind went to Alolan Marowak, but I feel like that's going to be more about dancing.
I don't think it's shooting fireballs.
I don't think so either. It's just that's where my mind went to.
That's kind of the same thing with Salandit. Salandit's about being in a harem. It's not Salandit, I don't think either.
Yeah. What other fire types are in that game?
Something that has prey too, which is why I'm kind of on the Torracat train. It has a fireball around its neck, and it.
Let's do that for one, and
it would be a cat, so it has prey. Is where I'm at with it. So I don't know.
Let's start there.
Torracat. Torracat is unfortunately incorrect. The next entry is going to come from Pokemon Platinum, and it's going to read: when launching 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit fireballs, its body takes on a whitish hue from the intense heat.
So that makes me think Magmortar, but you know.
I definitely in that line.
It's launching them. Magmortar has cannon arms. I'm on the Magmortar.
I would go with Magmortar, yeah.
Magmortar is correct. That gives you guys 3 for 3. Your next entry is your multiple answer question. And I'm gonna give you guys 2 choices here. We can talk more about evolution items today, or we can talk about the Pokemon anime, not Pokemon Horizons, early anime. So like the first 5 seasons, within the first 5 seasons.
I feel better about evolution items, but I don't know.
We can do either or. I'm down. I'm down to clown.
Down to clown.
Let's evolve.
Which one are you doing? Evolve?
Evolution.
Okay, so Swagzire the Quagsire. There are 14.
Wow, we got the good names today.
Yeah. There are 14 items here. You guys can get up to 3 points on this question. So the way I'm going to do it is if you give me 4 answers, you will get 1 point. If you give me 8 answers, you will get 2 points. If you give me 12 answers, you will get 3 points. If you get all 14, I guess you can pat yourself on the back. I don't care. All right. What are the 14 consumable, not held, evolution items that aren't evolution stones?
Oh, so the apples.
Okay.
You have 3 strikes and you're out, obviously. But yeah.
Okay. So we got 3 apples.
Yep.
There's a sweet apple among them.
That is correct. There is a.
So do you want to start? Let's start with that.
There's a sweet apple. That is correct.
Is it a candied apple, Claude? Do you know?
Not
or syrupy apple.
A syrupy apple is correct. That is 2.
And then tart is the last.
That is
one
the
of
third.
apples.
Those are the 3 apples.
I was going to say sour, so thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it the alloy that evolves Duraludon? Is that just
Metal alloy.
It's just
That
metal
is
alloy.
4. That is your first point.
Okay. So we have the 2 scrolls for Kubfu.
Yep.
Scroll.
Those aren't consumable though.
They're not?
They're key items.
Never mind.
I don't know if they're on the list, but
What about the...
would the link cable count? Does it count PLA items? Let's ask that.
Not unique PLA. These are
So not the link cable.
but the other items that evolve Pokemon that are new to PLA. If that makes sense.
Oh, so
okay,
the
so
Black
the
Augerite for Scyther?
Yeah, Black
Augerite
Augerite
and the Peep.
and the Peep Block. That's 2 of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
You're at 6.
Are there any
You're
other
at
items
6.
over there?
Okay. What about the 2 things for Charcadet?
Yeah, auspicious armor and
Yep.
oh, it's all the teacups too, wasn't it?
Auspicious.
the cracked
I got
teacup,
auspicious armor. You're at 7.
Yeah.
Okay. We have the cracked teapot, the cracked pot, the chipped pot, the masterpiece teacup.
That is 3. Yes, that is correct. That gives you 10. You are missing one of the armors that you mentioned earlier.
And one of the teacups.
You said it.
yeah.
You said no. You,
Okay.
I don't remember
yes, you are
what
correct.
the other armor is called.
Yeah. Oh, the unremarkable teacup.
That is
the other teacup.
is
Okay.
11. One more, and you get all the points.
Whatever the armor is called.
Is
You
it,
get the
which
armor.
one did we say?
You said
We said
you said
auspicious.
auspicious armor.
Is it auspicious then malicious?
Malicious
Could
is
be.
correct. That is 12. You are missing 2 other items. I'm going to give them to you because you guys got the 3 points here.
Sounds good.
It is the Galarica Cuff and the Galarica Wreath for Slowbro and Slowpoke,
That's it.
Yeah.
or Slowbro and Slowking. But outside of that, you got everything else. So there you
Yay.
go. I can't wait to ask this anime question. I actually like it.
You want to give it to us right
No.
now anyways? For fun?
All right.
We'll take it over stats.
Nope, you get base stats today. Welcome to the wonderful
base
world.
stats.
This is from Batista. Which Ultra Beast has the highest base special attack?
Oh no.
Zerkatry.
Yeah, it's probably. We're not counting Ultra Necrozma, are we?
No.
Oh.
I think Zerkatry is still probably higher though.
I think it might be either then. It's like 173, I think.
Because I know it's
Oh,
not.
or it's not Blacephalon, it's 150 something. I know Zerkatry's higher than that.
I know it's not Naganadel.
Nope, and that's it.
I was wondering if Baramosa was the sneaky answer, but I'm pretty sure Zerkatry's
No,
higher
I'm
than
pretty
it,
sure.
so.
I'm almost positive it is Zerkatry.
Are we going Circuitry?
Like, the only thing competing with it is, like, Dawn Wings Necrozma, and I don't think that's it, so.
Yeah.
Are we going Circuitry?
We're going Zerkatry.
I'm okay with Zerkatry.
Circuitry is correct with a base 173 special attack. Second place is Blacephalon with 151, followed up by Pheromosa at 137.
Yeah, I know Baramosa was
Yeah,
up
it's
there.
just high. That gives you guys a perfect score of 8 today. You didn't even use the hint. So
Oh, word.
So
Yeah.
tied for first place, we've got Clod and Sigma with 8 points. Everybody else has yet to get on the board. Anybody's game to win that $25 gift card to Fazoli's.
Fazoli's? Oh, that's my favorite.
Isn't it great?
Do those still exist?
Yeah, there's one not that
I've
far
never-
from
I've
my
never heard of
house.
it before.
On
Oh my
like
gosh.
yeah. No, I think there's like 5 of them in town. It's insane.
I'm fairly certain the ones around me are shut down.
My Frisch's Big Boys are all closing because they refuse to pay rent. But that's a different story for a different day. If you want more Puckle's Poke
We had
Quiz,
big boys around here, too.
you should go ahead and tune in, not next week, but probably the week after that. So with that, guys, we're going to kick it on over to our topic. Hey, Thatch here. A lot of you have been asking how you can hang out with us during the week. Well, the best way to do so is come to our Discord server at puclpodcast.com. You can join our server and you can hang out with us, talk Pokemon, battle, do a bunch of cool things, join in our tournaments. So what's stopping you? Come on over, puclpodcast.com. You can jump right on in and have a good time talking with the hosts of the show, as well as the large community we've gathered over the years. So come on, let's hang out. Welcome to our topic. Our topic today is things to be thankful for in Pokemon. Things we are thankful for in Pokemon or because of Pokemon. With the upcoming holiday for Thanksgiving coming up in the United States, we decided to take a moment and reflect on that this evening. Yeah, these are just general things that we're thankful for and things that we can talk about and hopefully get some cool memories out of. I would like to say I'm thankful for all of you guys first and foremost through Pokemon. Not just the people listening to the show, but also Clod and Sigma and everybody else who's on the show with me every week, because without Pokemon, I would never have met Clod. And Clod and I have had tacos together.
Yeah, we have. The glory of friendship tacos.
I think actually one of the first Puckle people I've ever met was actually Sigma, in all honesty, because Sigma and I met for the first time at a Pokemon, like a VGC tournament in Ohio State, like years ago. That was before you were even on the show.
It was, yeah.
That's even before you were on the show. So like that, yeah.
It was a fun time.
That was a fun tournament, actually.
That was 2016 VGC before it was like accessible.
I remember that tournament. That was a fun tournament.
It was. I was surprised. I wish I had more of those around me. The closest one is like 40 minutes away. So it's like, no thanks. Not worth it to play VGC on a Switch that barely lives.
I'm kind of hoping that like the tournament scene in Ohio starts to die down a little bit with NAIC no longer taking place in Columbus, because I feel like that fueled a lot of the like the uber competitiveness in Ohio for the Pokemon scene. For all of you, like your information, like in the competitive scene, like Ohio is known as like a pretty competitive scene.
It's because it's got like so many states it can easily travel to get.
We are like at the epicenter, and I think we're technically like the most populous outside of like Illinois, Midwestern state.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's because you can go to Indiana events, Kentucky events, Pennsylvania events, Michigan.
I'm thankful for you guys. I just, we should say that. And I'm also thankful to everybody who listens to the show. Like, thank you for doing that. But I don't know why you're doing it, but thank you.
We appreciate it nonetheless.
Yeah, things I'm really thankful for. One are, I'm thankful that it seems like we got a gap year. I'm thankful for that. Let me tell you.
That we finally have a break? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of, like, as much as I was actually just talking to somebody on the Discord about this today. They were just like, wow, it must be really rough for you not having like a game and like news to cover constantly like you used to. And I'm like, I don't know.
It's been really refreshing this year. I'm going to be honest. Not having to cover news every other week, like
not having like every third episode be like, oh, we have to talk about the new thing that happened. I like some of my favorite episodes of the podcast to make are the ones that are just like the really wild out there ones. Like I really like those. And Claude, next time you're on, we're definitely doing your let's just read Pokemon forums topic.
Well, it's that, and like every year I will constantly bring up hey, we should talk about we should do a music episode, because there's so much good Pokemon music, and I know it's more work for us, but I think it's still a fun thing to listen to.
I like doing a music episode, and I think we should do one in the future. Somebody asked us to do it as a top 5, and I don't want to do it as a top 5.
It's hard to debate it.
Yeah, it's hard to debate.
It's hard to debate it and get them shown.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Absolutely agree. But yeah, I don't know. What are you guys thankful for? I'll let you guys go now. Sorry, I ask crazy things.
You know what? I'll continue on the music front. You know what was really cool about Scarlet and Violet was that they brought back the legendary Beast music from Heart Gold Soul Silver for no reason. Like, there was zero reason to do that. They haven't done that in years, namely since Heart Gold Soul Silver, where each of Entei, Suicune, and Raikou have different instruments in the background of their songs, and like they skipped over it for years. And yet we couldn't get Ultra Necrozma's battle team for Necrozma, and that saddens me a little bit, but we're going. It's a small thing, but it was really cool.
No, I get that. They did a very good job, I think, with the legendaries in Scarlet and Violet. Actually, like the ones that they put in, I really enjoyed that.
Yes, I liked the little Snackwell stories. They were cute.
Oh yeah.
They were better. I don't know if I consider them better than Sword and Shield, just because I loved Max Raid battles so much.
So I think the thing that I'm most thankful for is like, as weird as it's gonna say, like, it's just like how versatile and like how widespread Pokemon is. Let me go with that, because throughout all stages of my life, it's been a part of me. Like, I've been able, like, as a kid, it was something that my neighbors and we'd always, like, you know, play pretend Pokemon and play the games with each other and a bunch of stuff like that. And then, you know, I get to, you know, high school and, you know, it was high school when my friends got into competitive Pokemon because we thought it was fun to, you know, dive deep into the game. And I made a whole bunch of friends and community from there. Like, that's where I started. Clod9 came from that, or part of that. And then, you know, I get to college and I meet more of my friends, more people that have played it and kept playing it. And, you know, Pokemon Go comes out and then everyone talks about it and knows about it. And it's been a way to connect with different people throughout my entire life. And I love that. And I'm so thankful for it because it's, you know, it's always fun to have a hobby, but when you can share your hobby with other people that also, you know, love your hobby, that's...
No, I think the connections in the community are really great. Like, one of the big things I really enjoy about Puckle is that I can always lean on that if I want to go play Pokemon with people, because it's there. Like, the community's there. We're all here together just to play Pokemon. I really enjoy that. Want to keep it going, and we'll see how we'll see how everything goes in the future. I mean, I'd love to grow it a little bit. Maybe just like do some more events in 2025. We'll have to sit down and talk, Claude. I know you have lots of ideas, actually.
Oh, well, less about that. I was going to say, like, that's what's been so great about Badge Bonanza. We went from, the badges are just over the summer to, no, we're going to expand this, make it a monthly goal. And we've had so much hype in there.
It's been a good time.
No, it's been a very good time.
I mean, that was the concept behind it. It's like everyone has a different reason for loving Pokemon, so let's experience them. No,
I love it. The three of us definitely need to sit down and just like come up with the community stuff for next year.
Oh yeah.
I think there's a lot of goodness to be had.
There's some changes I want to do.
Because I think there's some goodness for next year for us all to do.
Well, that, and I think, like, I miss doing we'd have like a marathon stream on like a weekend for charity. That was so much fun.
This year, the last couple of years have been rough for me, just like in life, with how much like I've been trying to like build my actual career and not my podcasting career, right? This year I'm like, one of my New Year's resolutions, or I shouldn't even say my New Year's resolutions, but like as the years go on, and this is just like really sappy and not a Pokemon thing, so sorry everyone. But like I'm every year that happens, or as time goes on, I become more and more aware of myself and what I want out of life, right? And so I was telling my office mate at work, actually, like I see myself just like kind of oscillating, like it's a dampened oscillation where like I'm getting closer and closer to the mean every time, but sometimes there's just like a wild swing away. And I was just like, I definitely did a wild swing the last 2 years where like I definitely went like real hard on career, and I really need to reel that back, because I don't think I found...
Go back into comfort or hobbies.
Into life. Like I do find fulfillment out of my career, but I don't find fulfillment in terms of my, like, I don't know, like I miss streaming. I don't stream nearly as much as I used to.
I took over.
Yeah, you have, effectively. I am coming back in December though, Claude, so watch out.
Oh, good, because I'm done after I finish this next Monday.
Perfect. Like pretty much I'm being really good, actually. Next week, since I'm on vacation next week at my in-laws, I love vacationing at my in-laws, by the way. I get a lot of time to just like work on things. And so I'm working on a stream schedule because I want to do TCG on stream, but I want to do video game. I want to do a Nuzlocke. I want to do all these things. And I'll probably pick one. I'll take a night and I'll slowly work myself into it. But some of my favorite memories, and this is something I'm very grateful for, to tie back into the topic a little bit, was like the community we built on Twitch. I loved it. Oh my gosh. For the longest time with Pokemon, because I remember doing viewer battles just for like days and days on ends. And and honestly, this time of year is perfect because, as my one friend at work called it, the sad time. This is the sad times because of seasonal depression, and the sun not being up. I mean, I left work today at 5:00 and the sun was almost gone.
I think that was my first interaction with you, Thatch, was hopping into stream, doing viewer battles in Sun and Moon.
Probably.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Because I remember being like, all right, what can I do to, like, earn this gym badge? Because I was trying to go for the gym badges that year. I remember doing it. And, I remember sitting in stream, watching you with, like, 2 different teams that you would rotate between. And then, you beat someone, like you were beating everybody, and I'm like, all right, I gotta beat him. I gotta find a way. I gotta think of this, and I just brought a team, and we just had fun.
No, I miss that a lot. I just love doing that.
Viewer battles are a lot harder nowadays, though, just because it feels less connected, I guess.
I think the big thing, like something I very much dislike about modern Pokemon, is I really, really dislike like the timer's a real big issue in Pokemon because 6v6 battles are just so much like the core of Pokemon. And I do think Pokemon's trying to move people away from that in so many ways, which I don't know that I appreciate. Like, the anime, I think, is a really big example of this. Like, if you look at the modern
you don't get teams of 6 anymore. Like, you get teams of 4.
Yeah, the modern Horizons people have like 2 or 3 Pokemon.
Well, that and the amount of times they fight together has been a lot higher than normal.
So, like, I don't like that. And even then, like since Generation 8, they haven't really given us like a very good timer. Like if I could have one wish for Gen 10, it would be that the timer is fixed.
Or just allow it to be toggleable.
Yeah, honestly, you should just be able to turn it off, right? Like, I think that would be awesome. Or
not even that, make it an hour. Allow us to change what the timer can be.
I mean, there is a way to do like 30 minutes, and if I start I'm not going to say if. I'm going to say when I start streaming again more regularly, I might try to set one of those things up so we can have like the 30-minute timer or something like that.
I think it's annoying because you need to have a tournament. Isn't it making a tournament?
You need to have a tournament, and then everybody has to sign up for it.
But you have to join before... Yeah,
so I'm going to...
I mean, good news is tournaments last like 3 hours, which is a stream.
Yeah.
Perfect for streaming.
No, I want to... Claude, I want to do it. Okay, Claude, go eat your dinner after this, and we're going to go talk. But because I would love to do like charity streams again and stuff like that. Those are always a blast. I really enjoy that kind of stuff.
Well, that and like I have so many fun just Pokemon concepts that I want to just do like with us, like as a group, whether that's for a charity stream or things. But like that.
Well, maybe we shouldn't talk about this on the show. I don't know how good this is for content, but.
we'll talk afterwards because I'm like, oh, like it's a way of giving back.
People who listen to the show, this is what I really get into. Like, I love planning and like doing community events. It's some of my favorite stuff.
Because and that's the thing is like as much as we're thankful for, I love to give back. Like, I want to be able to give good content that people are going to watch. Like, oh. Like, that's half of, Pokemon was watching or listening to somebody else. And I'm like, oh, I can do that. That's how I got into drafts. That's how I got into Nuzlocking and everything. It's one of the things I'm super grateful for, in like retrospect. Even though it like nowadays, like it would really suck, especially in like this culture of like, I want it now. I want it as soon as possible. I'm actually like super thankful for the way Pokemon used to be. And maybe this is definitely like a product of the time, and I don't think it should be this way now, but I think back then it worked out where Japan would get a lot of the stuff before us. Like I'm kind of grateful for that because a lot of that's what got me into it. I mean, that's certainly what got me into the idea of doing this podcast.
I mean, I know I love high school checking Cerebi like daily for new news.
Yes, I remember that. I remember getting Japanese versions of Black and White and having a translator translate it for me so I could play the game early on like a ROM.
I never went that far.
I never did that.
Oh, I went super deep into it.
But I do remember seeing like...
I just love the new news slowly leaking out.
I miss that. I don't think we've had like a good... I don't think the news cycle has been as good since Gen 6.
It's been predictable, which is weird.
Well, Gen 6 was great because like they leaked out new Pokemon slowly and they just did them randomly. Like, oh, we got Go-Goat and Helioptile, but we didn't learn about Skidoo or Heliolisk for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Gen 7 was really bad because I think they leaked everything but like Delmise and Araquanid.
They leaked everything that had any selling appeal.
Well, not leaked, but they revealed. Yeah, they revealed everything but those.
They showed off everything that had any appeal for merchandise purposes.
Which was definitely too much. Like, we knew too much going into the game.
Alolan Geodude, we didn't see that either, I don't think. Once again, no sale, no marketing appeal. 0.
They don't know me. I would buy an Alolan Golem plush so hard. Like, I love Alolan Golem.
There are plushes for Pokemon I'm amazed at nowadays.
When are we getting regional sitting cuties? Are we going to get them with the gens? I hope so.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Like when we get the Gen 7 sitting cuties, can I buy a sitting cutie Alolan Golem?
Alolan Golem?
I will do it. If it comes out, I will buy that. It'll be awesome. Yeah. No, I do miss when that happened though. Like I remember like one of the things that got me into like really starting to like delve into Pokemon and talking about Pokemon was we would essentially do these podcasts, but like in person with my friend group back in high school. Because we would sit down and we'd be like, oh man, did you see this new Pokemon that came out? Yeah, dude, it looks sweet. It's Electivire. It's like the evolution of Electabuzz. Or it wasn't called Electivire because it was the Japanese name. What was the Japanese name for Electivire? I'm going to find out now.
Electable. I think it's Electable.
I believe you. We're going to find out. It is Electable. Yes, you are correct. Look at Electable. It's so cool. And we never found out about Magmortar.
I don't know many, but that one I knew for some reason. It's like knowing that Magmar is Boober.
It is Boober. It is that one that I know. For some reason, it's in the back of my head.
Just simple stuff. Simple stuff. I have no clue what Japanese Jinx's name is, but I know Boober.
It's not that I miss those days per se, but like I'm thankful for those days because I find them formative.
Oh, and isn't Chansey lucky?
Chansey is lucky, yeah.
That's why it has like 3 luck items based on it. Luck Incense, Lucky Punch, which is useless, but you know, it exists.
I think one thing that I'm really thankful for Pokemon is the endless amount of creativity that and like exploration it lets you have. Like you can do almost anything. If you want to go super hard and competitive, you can be competitive. If you want to sit back and shiny hunt, you can do that.
You can do anything. There are so many ways to be a fan, and they're all legitimate.
Exactly. And I love that. Like, and no one is better than anyone else.
Absolutely. No.
Absolutely not. They're all the same. They're all equal.
Exactly. And like, there's so many different ways to play the game and interact with it that it's another form of, in my mind, art and self-expression, which, we don't necessarily always have an outlet for.
I enjoyed the community. Like, I'm very thankful for that in general. Like, we get all the art, right? All the fan art. The Puckle community, I already said I was thankful for that. So you guys are boring now. But I really am thankful for, I'm thankful in terms just of everything we get as a community because of Pokemon and the creativity inspires. Like, a lot of people get into art and stuff like that because of Pokemon. And I appreciate that it's a gateway into that, for people. Like, I got, dude, oh my gosh, I'm so good at AV stuff now because of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am like the number one person whenever we do like during COVID, I rocked it, by the way, for virtual meetings, because I was just like so set up for everything. So I am actually, I'm very grateful for that, but I am also just like grateful for this being an entrance for a lot of people finding like maybe not their true passions per se, but like not saying that Pokemon isn't like a passion, but it's definitely a gateway to help people learn about themselves. And maybe they would through some other medium, but I like that Pokemon kind of just like binds a lot of people together throughout how they are, because like you were saying earlier, Claude, like people can enjoy it in a lot of different ways. And we're not even just in the game.
At different stages of life too.
Not different stages of life in different ways. Like there are people who play the Pokemon TCG who don't play the Pokemon video games, which is kind of wild.
The community is incredibly welcoming.
And I mean, you've got people who play Pokemon Go who aren't playing the Pokemon video games either.
Oh, absolutely.
There's so many arms of it at this point that there are so many different ways, like you said earlier, Sigma, to be a fan, that I think is a lot of fun. Oh yeah. Is there anything else you guys are thankful for? Sorry, I just went on a rant.
Yes. So one other thing that I want to mention is I have like unknowingly learned a whole bunch of life lessons and morals from Pokemon without even realizing it, that like looking back on, I'm like, oh, that's because of this. Like in my mind, like Pokemon teaches a lot of like resilience, teamwork, and the value of like hard work itself. Because you can't just play a Pokemon game and become the champion. You have to battle, you have to progress, you have to grow and evolve, as a trainer, and your Pokemon have to, so that way you can take on more and more challenges.
I think it's almost like an accelerated story for life in a way.
A little bit, yes. And it ties on the themes of like friendship. We have environmental care with Gen 3, kind of. Coexistence with, nature. Like, there's a lot of, like, deep themes that are throughout Pokemon that, I care passionately about in the real world now because of this. And, like, I think, it, like, all in all, like, it makes you, it can make you a better person if you follow it. At least in my personal opinion,
I'm thankful for Nidoking because it's just a monster.
And I'm thankful for Furret because it's basically like one of those airplane neck pillows.
I've got my nice little cradly sitting cutie sitting above my monitor over here with a Thwacky plush too, because Thwacky's awesome.
Thwacky's awesome, but nothing else from Gen 8 is.
You take the wins you can get, okay?
Actually, like I always say, like I'm very critical of Generation 8 for a lot of reasons, but I always give it kudos for its Pokemon designs. I think Gen 8 Pokemon designs are like I think the average of the Pokemon designs is higher than almost any other generation. Like if you were to rank them all,
maybe
if you were to rank them all, I think the average score I would give every Pokemon in Generation 8 is higher than the average I would give any other generation.
I don't know if I would agree with that.
I kind of want to sit down and do this for myself. Like I kind of want to sit down and like rank every Pokemon like out of 1 to 10.
Make it a stream.
I think it's higher. I don't think it's the highest for me, but I think it's in the upper half.
I think for me it'd end up being Johto.
For me, I think it might be Hoenn, but
like Johto and Hoenn, anything Gen 4 below would be.
Claude, this sounds like a stream where you and I just sit down and we just rank every Pokemon. This is a charity stream. Because this will take us hours.
Well, no, what you do is you span it out over the course of a couple weeks. You do like
it's hours and debate.
You do one a stream.
No, you do like 10 a stream. Yeah.
No, you do like one generation a stream. Is what I meant.
I think one generation a stream. I think you do one generation a stream.
That's doable. That's doable.
Good idea, Claude. I appreciate that. Oh, all right. So with that, guys, I don't know that I have anything else that I want to cover.
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. Well, let us know what you're thankful for with Pokemon for the episode that comes out on the 9th. I think the 9th. No, the 8th. It comes out the 8th. The 8th. Yeah. Of December. But yeah, please send those in to puclpodcast@gmail.com. And we are going to go ahead and kick it on over to our Pokemon of the episode. We'll catch you on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
Welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 384, Rayquaza, the Sky High Pokemon.
Its Delta Emerald Pokedex entry reads, Rayquaza is said to have lived for hundreds of millions of years. Legends remain of how it put to rest the clash between Kyogre and Groudon.
Wow. Rayquaza doesn't have a card right now, does it? I don't think there is one, actually. Let me look.
There was a VMAX.
Is there really not a Rayquaza?
I think one will probably come. I think what they're doing is literally, you see how like we got all the shiny Rayquaza stuff? I guarantee you, like, we're gonna get it in like a set or two to like tie into all the shiny Rayquaza.
It's gonna be the
stuff.
one after the EVs.
Yeah.
I'm calling it now.
Yeah, I'm sure
we could talk about there's the turtle that's the spiritual successor to Rayquaza or Mega Rayquaza EX.
Yeah, Mega Rayquaza EX was really big in the day, and actually, okay, so I found like my old binders from when I was collecting back in Gen 6, Gen 7 times, TCG cards, and I did find that we just had like a ton of Mega Rayquazas. Well, not a ton, but we had like 3. And I don't know if anybody else knows this, but those cards are worth like $200 a piece now. Which is kind of nuts. So I just went and sold them. Because it's not like I'm going to go play. Well. I'm not going to play Mega Rayquaza anytime soon.
You're not going to go play 2016 format.
Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here.
I'm not playing a Rayquaza anytime soon. So, yeah, actually, there's no Rayquaza in rotation right now, actually. Like the last one was
That's
the
actually really shocking for a Pokemon as popular as a Rayquaza. Did its Amazing Rare ever see any play?
The Amazing Rare did actually. Yeah,
in Lost Box with
against it was in
Lugia.
Lost Box for a hot second. Yeah,
I don't remember which
yeah.
amazing rares made it into Lost Box. I know Raikou did. I wasn't sure if Rayquaza was one of
Raikou
them.
and Rayquaza was one of them.
Rayquaza and Raikou were the two that saw a lot of play, but because Raikou, you could just like splash that in the Lugia deck when it was still in rotation. And Rayquaza was like Rayquaza, you could do the same thing because it was like the amazing rare. These are cards that required like a bunch of different energy costs, by the way, but we're still like
like
prizes.
the Stellar Pokemon now, but less cool.
But less cool, yeah.
It was a bad mechanic that lasted 2 sets. It's okay.
Yeah, it was. But it was it did Amazing Burst, which was 80 times for Grass, Lightning, and Fighting energy. Discard all basic energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 80 damage for each type of basic energy you discarded this way. So it wasn't a Lost Box for a hot second because it could get you up to like the 240. It could even get you to 320.
320 was the big one they were heading to.
Yeah, that was the number they were trying to hit with that, and it did see some play. I think Seth played it in one of the regionals he and I went to together because I remember I handed him some.
I know Amazing Rayquaza definitely saw more play than the VMAX.
Yes, the VMAX wasn't bad, but like it wasn't good.
I mean, they just copy and pasted the Rayquaza EX from back in like the black and white days.
Yeah,
and they like powered it up a little, but it kind of showed that its day had passed. Yet for some reason, it was always expensive for like no reason
because it's Rayquaza.
Yeah. Rayquaza.
It's Rayquaza.
To bother people that listen.
It's Rayquaza.
Well, it's Quasar, so it's Quasar.
It's Quasar.
This is how I always think of it.
I used to also
That's
call
how
it
I always
Rayquaza until the Quasar thing.
Same.
I was like, oh, that makes sense.
I still call it Rayquaza sometimes. Like I switch between the two. People know what you're talking about.
I definitely switched in the news. I caught myself. So
exactly.
Yeah. I'm hoping this shiny Rayquaza event is somehow going to like tie into PLA or PLZA.
Ooh.
Where we'll get like Mega Rayquaza.
The Mega Rayquaza or something.
And you can get the Mega in PLZA just because Mega Rayquaza is cool. It was the Pokemon that formed an entirely different tier in Smogon for Anything Goes.
It was the first Anything Goes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the first Anything Goes Pokemon. I think Primal Groudon joined it very soon after, but it was the first Anything Goes Pokemon because it was just too good. Because giving a Mega the ability to Mega without an item is kind of bonkers. Especially with like the ability of like, oh hey, by the way, you don't have weaknesses on one of your types. So and flying, as I've said before on this show, being one of the better types in the game, like one of the top like 2-3 types in the game.
And it got flying type close combat. Like
yes.
As dumb as the name is for a flying attack.
Yes. Dragon Ascent.
Yes, Dragon Ascent.
The flying
My
type
favorite
move.
Flying attack. We can never give that move to any other flying type because you gave it that name.
Yes.
Congrats.
I think it still gets that too. That move never got called.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. I think it gets it in Gen 9.
We will never have a Flamigo with Dragon Ascent. Though I would be a fan of Gyarados getting Dragon Ascent. Like that would be flavorful, right?
I would be okay with that.
Gyarados has enough though. It doesn't need any more. You give it too much, it becomes broken again. It's in a fine
I'm okay with that. I love Gyarados, though. It's about to get its Mega again, which takes away its flying type. I think it would be fine.
Is it going to get its Mega again? We don't know.
Oh, yeah, no. In PLCA, we're getting Megas, and they already showed Gyarados.
What kind of Megas?
They already showed...
I mean, he was the villain's Mega. Like, he's probably there.
We only got the X and Y Mega pictures, not them in ZA.
What are you talking about? Wait, okay, so we got in ZA, we got like the Mega Evolution symbol at the end of the trailer, though. So like, it's coming back.
It's coming back. We just don't know to what extent.
I mean, Gyarados is in like every game.
Gyarados is also
going to be there.
It was also in like the little trailer thing.
All right, then
like itself. Yeah, like I believe that every Pokemon that was in that trailer will be in that game.
Now, Mega
and Mega
Gyarados is kind of...
Patrat will also be there. And we'll all be like, Patrat, why are you here?
Patrat.
Because Patrat is a mate. No, it's awful. I can't.
Because Patrat hasn't been in a game that can connect, that hasn't been on a game on the Switch like since it came out. So that's why Patrat will be in this game.
Yep.
Not because anyone likes it, just to
Same with Simi-Seer, Simi-Sage, and Simi-Poor. They're all going to be there.
They're going to get megas. It's going to be great.
If they get... No, I'm telling you right now, Panzap is coming. Okay? Panzap is coming.
Panzap?
Yeah.
Panzap. Oh my god, no, I just got it.
Yeah. Pan-Poor, Pan-Sage, Pan-Seer, Panzap. There is a fourth monkey in the See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil.
Do No Evil.
Do No Evil.
It's got no arms.
Yeah. there is a fourth monkey in that, and that's gonna be your Enamoris this gen. Okay? You're getting Panzap. We're all gonna hate it.
Nope, we're gonna love it. It's gonna be great.
But that is what it's going to be.
They're going to add a new terrain with a new Tapu. It's fine.
Please no.
No one will pay attention.
Although I do want the Tapus back, and I would love that. Maybe be something.
I was actually kind of bummed with Generation 7 when we got Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. We were talking about this before the show about how those are definitively the worst versions of Gen 7. But I was really kind of hoping that we'd get, because like Hawaii has a ton of islands, but there's like 7 or 8 like ones that people actually go to.
Yep.
And I was kind of hoping we get like those other islands as like little extra areas, and each of those islands would also have their own tapu, right? Where maybe we got like a fire type tapu and an ice type tapu, and I think that would be really cool and really neat. Nice. And honestly, at this point, it should just happen. But
I mean, Kalos is where they first invented terrains. Not that anyone used them at all.
No,
but they existed.
I don't know how you would thematically to be fair, I don't know how they thematically pulled off putting the genies in Hisui. So I wouldn't be surprised if they came up with a way to put the Tapus in.
I mean, they're 5 neighborhoods from the original XY.
Yeah. So then we get one new Tapu.
One new Tapu. The Tapu in each territory.
Oh man.
Also, I think the Tapu just weren't in Gen 9 because they didn't want Tapu Koko and the Future Paradox.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
That's why I think they weren't there.
Absolutely. I think eventually the Future Paradoxes and Tapu Koko will be in the same game, but it will be after they significantly nerf the ability.
One day they will be. That day was not Gen 9.
I don't know. They let Miraidon exist, but in that same gen. So I don't know.
I mean, he was intended to be with the Future Paradoxes.
Yes.
Tapu Koko is not. Thank God that Pinkerton is bad, right?
Yeah.
No, Tapu. I think the thing is the way the rule set is set up. They limit, like if you choose Miraidon to go with your Future Paradoxes, you've locked yourself out of other restricted mons. Which is what I think the current rule set. I think they could just fix that rule set and just make it like kind of legendaries in general and not just like box art legendaries, or put some kind of restriction on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I do think they'll just nerf. It's not photosynthesis. What's the ability all the future ones get?
I mean, Quark Drive.
Quark Drive. I think they'll just nerf Quirky. Quark Drive. Kind of like how they've nerfed Beast Boost and stuff like that. I think they'll nerf those abilities eventually.
Probably. I think the big thing they need to do is make speed the same as everything else. I think 1.5 speed is way too much.
Yeah. I think if they made it like a 1.2 speed, it would be very reasonable. Something that like Tailwind can outpace.
I think everything's 1.3 as of right now, which is probably fine for most stats. Mm-hmm. It's just speed. Speed 1 goes to 1.5 instead of 1.3, which is dumb. They keep underestimating speed boosts, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
because they did it with max flying too. They're like, oh yeah, we can give you regular powered moves.
That's why max flying was so good
on
in
both
Gen
things.
8. You're exactly right,
and that's 90% the reason why Dynamax was banned.
They lowered the power of the attack boosting ones. Why didn't they lower the power of the speed boosting one too? I don't understand. They made the same mistake again, so whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. They made the speed boost on the flying type one, and flying still just like a good type. It's just one of the best types in the game, and they're just like, yeah, what if we just like made it better though?
Yeah, it's like what if we just made it good?
Yeah,
too. It's like
What if we just made it a little bit better? I don't know. But yeah.
Because, you didn't get fighting or poison moves to get to 100 power with max attacks, right? That's just how it worked. And flying's no, we don't have that limitation. We're blasting off with 140 base power. It's fine.
Tell me about it.
There's not multiple
Poison needed that buff, though.
Poison did not need that restriction. Especially when half of them were physical anyway. It didn't do anything.
Well, yeah. That was Rayquaza. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't think there's anything super fun about Rayquaza outside of just it's a good Pokemon and it's
wasn't
cool.
It it's very popular?
It is very popular. It has won multiple polls.
When they did that big poll a few years ago now, they did the big poll of everyone's favorite Pokemon and it made top 10 if I remember right.
Yes.
It was number 7 or something.
No, it is very popular and I don't blame them. I mean that's why Shiny Rayquaza in the anime was probably a good idea. It's just it's just a cool Pokemon. And it's just going nutsos with everything that it's doing.
It's been a fan favorite for 2 decades.
It was
now.
voted the most popular Generation 3 Pokemon in 2020.
As it should be.
Honestly, of the Gen 3 Pokemon, it's probably I don't know. Who would you have picked out of Gen 3, Claude?
Blaziken, Latios, they're both really cool. But
I don't like Rayquaza very much, so I'm very biased. And I don't have a good response other than I think the starters are better. I like Metagross. I like Salamence. I like Salamence more than I like Rayquaza. I like Flygon a lot.
Flygon's really
I like
cool
Mega
too,
Rayquaza better than regular Rayquaza.
Agreed.
I mean, I have the sitting cutie Rayquaza wrapped around my microphone stand.
Gen 3 has a lot of really good Pokemon in my mind, and I just don't think Rayquaza is as good as some of those.
You're probably not in.
I think it's top 10, top 5 maybe.
I would argue that. But I wasn't on the Johto episode. I mean, the Hoenn episode. Or maybe I was.
Was there a Hoenn episode?
There wasn't a Hoenn episode, yeah.
Rayquaza probably was top 5, I assume.
I don't remember.
I don't think it made it that.
I hope it. Poor thing.
All right. Well, yeah, that was Rayquaza. I'm going to stop us there. We are going to go ahead and kick it on over to our Pokemon, or not our Pokemon, our mailbag. So let's kick it on over to that.
It's mail time! It's time for the mailbag! Send in your emails!
Welcome to the Mailbag. The Mailbag is the part of the show where you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com and let us know your thoughts on our question of the week. Last week, we asked you guys how you would redesign the Gen 1 gym system. And oh boy, did I not realize that was going to be something that you were all excited about. Oh my gosh. We have for only having that show out for less than 48 hours, there are so many emails. So with that said, though, guys, we'll get into it. But as always, this segment is brought to you by the fictional energy drink, Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves!
Actually, before we start today, we want to do a new segment to the mailbag, which is going to be the YouTube comment of the week. For those of you who are unaware, we actually post these shows to YouTube as well. People do leave comments on there trying to answer the mailbag question. And I do feel bad because I do read them and I'm always like, oh, we should do something with this. And then I never do. And today I remembered. So I feel like by doing this as part of the show, one, if you watch us on YouTube or you're listening to us on YouTube, we will use your comments or at least see them and try to give them some credit. But with that said, we are going to do it. I guess I'll read it because we didn't decide who was going to read it beforehand. This is from Thrive5462 on the YouTubes. Hello, Puckle people. I love the old games puzzles, which are completely absent in the most recent generation. I also love the gamble and RNG, so I would keep random encounters to pushing stones in holes, sliding ice, landing a Goldeen, whatever, even literally hitting a jackpot at the game corner and for whatever reason not getting a Dratini. Oh, there's punctuation. There we go. All of that is essential in my reimagination. The map would look like a fusion of PLA and SV open world routes that lead into towns that are their own map like the zones in PLA. It would be a massive LOL. The open world would still be on rails in a sense, with maybe a centered traversable path. Oh, traversable path, not traversable. And then you could fly over the whole map at some point. I do it earlier. The OG games aren't bad about gatekeeping Pokemon, but I would like to make all the Pokemon available at the start of the first or first third of the game. Thrives Peas, this is my email submission. I hope it counts. Not quite, but it's the YouTube comment of the week. All right. Well, I'm going to take a break before I get to read my email. So I'm going to let Claude go first. Claude, you got this email by Reptile, so please go ahead.
Yes. Don't be a sheeple, Puckle people. I don't think I've heard that one before, and I kind of like it.
That one's good. I like that one better than how do you do, Puckle Crew. I like don't be a sheeple, Puckle people. I like that better.
Don't be a sheeple, Puckle people. Reptile here. I've spent more time than is probably normal or neurotypical thinking about Pokemon, and thus I have had a long string of ideas regarding how I would design a game in the series to my own tastes and sensibilities. This has also happened with several other series, to the point where I have seriously considered writing them down and becoming one of those YouTubers that posts one several hour-long video every 8 to 12 business months.
I like that they're called business months, as if there were other types of months.
I am a consumer of those videos.
So am I. The document containing my ideas for Donkey Kong 64 is over a dozen pages long and is not even remotely finished. Oh gosh. In any case, growing up in a region of the world that I was and still am convinced we'll never see a Pokemon region. Manitobians represent. I got it now. The first idea I had growing up was basically an MMO-style game based in a Pokemonified version of the real world. Each major city or central location would have its own Pokemon League, and you have to travel across the world to capture and train different kinds of Pokemon, defeating Elite Fours wherever you went in order to qualify for international tournaments. That idea was ambitious and not very well thought out, but it was a coping mechanism for living in the worst part of Canada, where even other Canadians would prefer that we didn't exist.
The worst part of Canada?
Okay. There's an idea here that I kind of like. Imagine if you were, you combined a bunch of regions together, but you couldn't compete in that league's region with your old Pokemon.
I would like that.
I've always wondered if that's how you'd have to do it.
Oh, that's absolutely how you'd have to do it. That's you have to be handed the new starter.
And then you have international tournaments where you can, between these regions, and you can only use Pokemon from those things.
Oh my gosh, I like that a lot.
I feel like at some point after you defeat the Elite Four, you unlock all your Pokemon again, but...
Well, you unlock from that area. I mean, you can always go back and use them. It's just, you can't fight in those tournaments with only a certain set of Pokemon, so... Interesting idea. We can talk more about it later. Anyways, as I got older, I changed my scope a bit and decided on a more traditional style of game, while removing some of the more tedious and annoying RPG elements and making it feel much more like an adventure game. You'd start off in some small town, get your starter, and from there, get sent out into the world. Go to whatever route you want, fight whatever gyms you want, in whatever order you want, with gym leaders adjusting their teams to however many badges you had. There would be a gym for every type in the game, and you'd only have to collect 10 badges to qualify to take on the League Challenge. Along the way, you'd be able to take on side quests to find strong Pokemon that weren't available in the wild, and meet an eclectic host of other trainers from across the region taking on their own Pokemon journeys. I also had a great idea about removing leveling and weakening type effectiveness. Looking back, I think I was just a kid with ADHD and who didn't have the patience for level grinding, and was annoyed at the perceived lack of depth of Pokemon battles, but now I'm a bit more chill on those fronts. Lately, I've had thoughts about some smaller designs I'd love to see in Pokemon. For one, avatar characters suck. I'd rather play with a character with a defined personality and set goals, like they had to do in Pokemon Colosseum. Wonderful game. I've always felt that avatar characters are extremely difficult to write compelling stories around. Cough, cough, Fire Emblem, cough. And would love to see what a story around a character like Hugh would look like, without needing to necessarily consider letting the player insert themselves into the game. Maybe an idea for a spin-off, but something I will stand by. These are a few of the thoughts I remember growing up with Pokemon, but given enough time, I could probably rant about the length of a YouTube video that you'd put on in the background while cooking or folding laundry. I do that all the time. Gosh, I feel very called out right there. Anyways, hope you enjoyed my ramblings, and I hope I'm not the only email for the third time in a row. Though that would be super hilarious. Take care, y'all.
Reptile, you certainly are not the only email for the third time in a row.
No, not this week. And thank you for writing in. We really appreciate all the work that you do.
All right, this next email is going to be from New Worm. And boy, New Worm, this is an email. I've got this one. Hey, hi, howdy, Pucklers. This is New Worm. You got it right last time. Here to yap about Pokemon Gym Order/Design. I had never played Red, Blue, Yellow until those games came out on 3DS Virtual Console, but nevertheless, I'm still blinded by nostalgia to meaningfully touch the original Kanto gym layout, so I think instead I'll scrap the whole thing and discuss what my ideal gym design looks like. I found Linian's thoughts on the design of Brock's gym design really insightful, and as a result, I'll attack this from a more game design point of view, i.e. how players learn Pokemon and are adequately challenged going through a game. For a first gym, I think the ideas presented in the Brock fight could be updated for modern Pokemon. Gen 1 was built around the mindset of a more traditional RPG, so it makes sense for Brock to be a tutorial on the magic stat, but the current Pokemon mindset definitely leans more towards teaching Pokemon-specific mechanics like type matchups early on, hence why we see Fire, Water, Grass so early. Additionally, I think a gym structure should have a fairly neutral relationship with each starter choice. I don't know if I'm calling it a meme, if calling it a meme is the right word, but it's well known that the 3 Kanto starters act as an easy, medium, and hard mode in the original games, and I personally don't agree with that type of design. Like, I'm only 7 years old. Lie. I'm just gonna pick the cool lizard dragon because it's cool. I don't want an objectively more difficult time playing a game because I unknowingly picked the objectively worst option. This is why I think the first few gyms should be equally difficult for all the starter choices. That way, new players can learn on relatively equal footing, and veterans can choose whatever they want and be challenged in other ways. As such, my proposition for the very first gym would be either a normal gym or be a neutral on all the starters, or completely original concept, a gym that changes to specialize in whatever type is super effective against your starter. That the way the player can be at a disadvantage no matter what they pick, and learn how to use multiple Pokemon/abuse type matchups. Hey, wait a minute. Okay.
Let's say, isn't this just
all of this? Well, last one's Unova. Yeah, no, actually, both of them are Unova. Yeah, the normal type gym and that gym. Yeah, they're both Unova.
It's almost like this. It's almost like Unova was a remake of Gen 1.
It's also like Unova is like outside
trying to fix some problems. Yeah,
it did such a good job. A lot of things, and they just muffed up at one point, which is, hey, why don't we refresh the decks, but also just make the same Pokemon again? Like, come on, Gigalith. Come on, Gigalith. You don't.
Gigalith is cool. I will defend Gigalith.
Come on, Conkeldurr. Come on, Gigalith.
I love Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr is my homeboy.
Put Throw under the bus. That's where he deserves to be.
No, he belongs in an apartment with Bert.
Sock and Throw.
I said what I said and I meant it.
Okay, Seismitoad. Can we agree Seismitoad isn't as cool as Poliwhirl?
Yes. Yes, absolutely agree. Yeah.
Okay. We'll throw Seismitoads under the bus.
Peak alert. That's right. You thought this was an email about how to fix Kanto's gym design, but it was me. An email about why Gen 5's gym design is so good. As I've said, the Trio Gym as the first badge is really creative and teaches new players about type matchups in a way that pretty much forces them to try other Pokemon if they don't over-level. Although admittedly, I would have put some more interesting counters in the wild to catch rather than gifting a monkey, or maybe putting the monkeys in the wild.
Or just not having Patrat in the game.
Too bad. It's going to be in PLZA. Calling it now.
No.
Lenora's gym after also does a good job of keeping the starter experiences pretty similar, although Pignite definitely has an advantage. Retaliate Watchog and Intimidate Herdier still provide a sufficient challenge to overcome for all choices, not to mention Timber and the grass nearby. That's game design, baby. From that point on, I feel the gyms are more meant to demonstrate the strengths and weaknesses of the respective types while giving some challenge mechanically. Berg's bugs are normally quite weak as you get into the mid-game, but his team still puts up a fight with surprising counters for weaknesses like Dwebble, and strong stab damage with Leavanny's Leaf Blade. Although I find this gym to be one of the weaker ones, aside from aesthetics. They're great, but we're not talking about this. Elsa's gym, especially the revision in Black and White 2, is my favorite gym in the entire series. The gym guy at the front tells you that electric types are weak to ground, except Emolga, who is completely immune. The battle really flips the type on its head and demonstrates what makes electric Pokemon great, not to mention the great tech that is newly introduced in Volt Switch. Clay is a great challenge as well, showing off the power of dragon types at the mid-game and boasting really powerful threats like Krokorok and Excadrill. Elsa and Clay are hard gyms to top, but I think the 6th and 7th gyms are good too. I'm now realizing that Skylight completes a trio of sorts, which I find cool, especially in considering you're able to get several different good electric types in Chargestone Cave for the flying types. As a result, I do tend to find this gym to be more of a pushover, although it still fits the theme really well. You gotta love cannons. I personally find Bryson's ice types to be the weakest in the game, but that tends to go for most late game ice gyms. I think an earlier ice gym would be much more formidable, but by badge 7, there's tons of different ways to sweep Bryson. The badge 8 Dragon Gym, however, is amazing. Iris and Drayden splitting versions is a fun difference, and the uncontested powerful dragons of Gen 5 give you a run for your money, even if you bring one of the several available ice types. Overall, there's very little about this gym structure I would change, especially considering how deep and interesting the gym leaders themselves are, although you obviously can't do the same thing every game. Black and White 2 also does a good job of mixing things up. Although I don't find anything super revolutionary gameplay mechanics-wise, I just really like the aesthetics of Roxy and Marlin's gyms. Anyway, thanks for listening to my ramblings. Be sure to rate and subscribe if you think there should be 17 Mega and Normal evolutions for Venusaur. New worm. I think I'm actually really bummed that we didn't get like a Mega Venusaur X and Y and a Mega Blastoise X and Y. That should have happened.
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, I really like the Mega Venusaur we got.
Yeah, the Mega Venusaur we got is very good. I just like I hate that Charizard got 2 and everybody else got 1. Okay, Charizard needs to stop being the special child.
We just need a good Blastoise out there, please.
All right. Well, we've got one last email, and that is going to be from Squid. I believe you've got this one, Sigma.
Howdy, Puckleites. Squid Deluxe here, writing in with my changes for Gen 1's gyms. First, I gotta say, I actually really liked the tutorialization of the gyms in Gen 1. They really leaned into the catch-em-all angle of the franchise. You don't see that a lot.
They dropped that tagline. They dropped it.
They did, because you can't anymore.
You can't catch them all anymore.
Can't catch them all.
Dude, I'm still hoping Gen 10, they're just like, everybody's here. I'm hoping. Like, my fingers are crossed.
That's my hope too. It's a good thing to do for an anniversary game. It's on a new console.
I think they should.
Like, we'll see, but that's my hope. Need a special attacker to beat Brock? Go to the forest and catch a Caterpie and knock out 3 dex entries while you're at it. Need a ground type for Surge, Diglett Cave, and 2 more entries are just over there, bud. That Diglett Cave is definitely where I go before battle.
Absolutely.
Great stop on the way. If anything, I'd make the gyms more tutorialized, building upon each other to teach things like terrain and such. We've seen with hardcore ROMs that you can push the AI pretty far to make them hard.
So they're not so much changing the AI in a lot of the ROMs. It's they're giving everybody the AI that already exists, but is only available for the champion usually.
Yeah, the Ace Trainer AI or something like that.
Yeah.
It's something that usually, I think gym leaders sometimes have it. Elite Four definitely have it. Ace Trainers usually have it, but
I think it's called the Expert AI, if I'm correct, but I could be wrong.
With the gyms essentially being glorified gimmick tutorials, I'd make the Elite Four all some sort of UU or OU singles style teams. Not necessarily based around a single type, but a soft theme of a type like the Gen 4 Elite Four. Then, the champion would just be a VGC doubles type team to get you ready for what to expect on the ladder and see if your team has what it takes. Let's say that.
They didn't finish that thought.
It wouldn't need perfect IVs, EVs, and nature to beat, but it would definitely be all the best VGC Pokemon of that gen. Hey, like Kieran. Just a neat idea to go back to how gyms used to be, but still keep them fresh mechanically. Cheers, Squid.
I like that idea of, instead of it being type gyms, it's a gimmick gym. Where it's like, oh cool, this is the Trick Room. Like, this gym is about Trick Room. And then, the Elite Four are just 4 really strong trainers that just use a mechanic very, very well. Think like a weather trainer of some kind, or someone that uses terrain.
I guess this is the end of the emails. I'm going to actually vote for Squid for Green Tourist Badge. I don't know if you guys had a different opinion.
I was going to vote elsewhere, but we can do it.
Squid it is. Squid, you get the green Taurus badge. With that, guys, we are going to go ahead and end the show. If you would like to hang out with us throughout the week, come to the Discord, puclpodcast at .com. We can get you there, or the link in the show notes. Of course, you can always go over to our socials at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Additionally, you can go follow us over at YouTube at youtube.com/puclpodcast. And if you're there and you leave a comment, you could be comment of the week. And then, and then, of course, if you want to go ahead and do that, we would really appreciate it. Or you can come over to Twitch at twitch.tv/thepuclpodcast. Claude's going to stream there one more time, I guess. and then it's the Thatch.
Yeah, if you're listening to this on Monday, I will have hopefully, the finale of Renegade Platinum that night, unless I fail in getting there.
And then it'll be the Thatch show. It's going to be the Thatch show. There will be and then it'll be the Thatch. There'll be a schedule. I know that my first stream back will more than likely either be I have to consult with my boss, aka my wife, but it will either be the 3rd or the 4th of December. You will see all of the things on all of our places to let you know which one of those is the right way to do it. And then I think again, actually on the 7th of December, I'll probably do it as well. There'll probably be more streams. And then, yeah, I mean, leading up to I love streaming up to the holidays. It's actually one of my favorite things. So, I'm so happy this is when I get to come back and I don't have anything like work wise and I can focus on myself. But yeah. And then of course, if you want to help to support the show, you can go over to our Patreon at patreon.com/puclpodcast, or you can go to trollandtoad.com and use code puclpod5 for a 5% checkout or discount at checkout. With that though, guys, I have been your host, Trainer Thatch.
I've been R.Sigma.
And I've been Clod9.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.
Flip side.